It is NRP Radio and NRP Media. We thank you so much for coming on board and being with us on an evening like this. We appreciate your company, we appreciate your time, and we appreciate the fact that you have NRP and our news presentation as part of your thinking on any given day. So continue to keep it locked right here as we bring the news to you at this hour. Good evening, and welcome wherever you are across the world. Thank you so much for choosing this platform to hear the latest in the news. Let's go. Good evening and welcome to this our newscast right here on NRP Radio. Our platforms are nrpmediaja.com, our radio platform. We're also broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube with the handle NRP Media JA. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, we ask that you go on over to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA and do subscribe so that we can continue to grow our numbers on this side. With the NRP Evening News, I'm Leon Nash. Here are the headlines. EOJ says that the full outcome of the recently run local government elections might not be known until Thursday. PNP loses Clarendon Municipal Corporation in recount. Jamaica's Clarendon police investigating some breaches associated with the holding of the local government elections yesterday. NRSC has received funding of US $400,000 to procure speed monitoring devices and breath testing equipment for the JCF. And in sport, Erling Haaland scored 5 in a stunning display of finishing as holders Manchester City thrashed Luton to reach the FA Cup quarterfinals. The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations whatsoever. Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Now for the details of the news. Director of Elections Glassblower Brown says the full outcome of the recently run local government elections might not be known until. Speaking in an interview with NRP News, Mr. Brown says efforts are now underway with the recount. However, he says that with at least one council having not yet been started, this might impact the EOJ's ability to provide a full disclosure come tomorrow.
Is there any possibility that, as you said, it may go over into Thursday based on what you're seeing?
It might, because there's one constituency that did not start today, will start tomorrow. So normally, I'll expect it should take more than a day and a half, 2 days to complete. As soon as the division is the code by constituency completed, we will release those information. So some will be released tomorrow. That would put it as for Thursday afternoon, providing non-foreseen activity to take place.
That was Director of Elections Glassblower Brown speaking with NRP CEO, yours truly, Leon Nash. Meanwhile, the Director of Elections says he believes that the EOJ did a fairly good job at executing its duties in the elections yesterday.
They went fairly smoothly. We think we did a fairly good job of the activities. The turnout was a little bit below what we had expected. turnout so far based on the preliminary count is 29.6%. Remember, in 2016, it was 30.06%. We are now moving to another phase, which is the final count. It started today. Will continue until hopefully we expect it to be completed by tomorrow. Worst case into Thursday.
That was Director of Elections Glasspool Brown. Yesterday, in a late evening press conference, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness indicated that the party which had done its canvass, had indicated that the JLP retained 7 of the parish councils to the PNP's 5, and 2 were tied. This information was not immediately confirmed by the EOJ, which was reportedly still not willing to give full details of the count based on the fact that today the recount was ongoing. The figures have changed somewhat, but that information is not yet available to us here at NRP Newsroom. In the meantime, the Director of Elections has taken a decision to transfer the final counting of ballots for the electoral divisions in St. Andrew East Rural for the local government elections held on February 26th. That's yesterday. The final count will take place at the Electoral Office of Jamaica's head office at 43 Duke Street, commencing on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, at 10 a.m. Under the Representation of the People's Act, the Director of Elections may change the place selected for the final counting of ballots. Section 45(2)(a) states that the Chief Electoral Officer, that's the Director of Election, whenever he is satisfied that it is expedient to change the place designated for the final count, may direct the returning officer to A, carry out the final count of votes at such place as the Chief Electoral Office may specify, and to notify each candidate within 24 hours of the issue of such a direction, and B, to postpone for a period not exceeding 48 hours in any one instance the carrying out of the final count of votes, and to forthwith communicate notice of any such postponement to each candidate. The final counting of ballots is underway at designated counting centers across the island, and that information should be available come tomorrow, or as the director indicated earlier, latest Thursday. Continuing the news now here on NRP Radio over in Clarendon, where Romaine Morris won the Moco seat for the PNP. This was not enough to give the party the upper hand in the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. The presumptive minority leader in the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, Cian Barneswell, spoke to NRP News today on the matter. According to Mr. Barneswell, errors in the preliminary count cost the PNP the municipality.
Well, we had a recount in Indian Town, and because we realized that we would have won by 22, but when we did the final count, lost by 89. At the count, there was error applied on the numbers. Now, with the film count, there was some errors in the number addition that did not scores on the number of votes received. So we would have lost Indian Town, which would have allowed the JLC to be the Clarendon Municipal Corporation with 12 seats, and the People's National Party gain 2 more, and that makes us having 10 seats now.
The presumptive minority leader in the Clarendon Municipal Corporation, Cian Barneswell. Meanwhile, following the polls yesterday, Senior Superintendent of Police in charge of Area 3, Glenford Miller, also spoke to a newsroom. According to him, despite their best effort, the police received and dealt with some skirmishes which occurred in the Clarendon Police Division. Let's hear now from SSP Miller.
Especially within the Clarendon Division, where there was an argument at one of the polling locations. Persons actually got into a fight, but the police would have actually intervened and actually quelled that situation. Would have got reports also of some loud noise in some areas, and would have actually made the necessary checks. But one of the things that we would have actually seen also that during patrolling the various thoroughfares, would have realized that 1 and 2 bars would have actually opened, so those persons for prosecution, and our police officer ensure that they actually close the doors.
That was Senior Superintendent of Police in charge of Area, Glenford Miller. The National Road Safety Council, NRSC, has received the funding of US $400,000 to procure speed monitoring devices and breath testing equipment for the Jamaica Constabulary Force to assist in reducing road fatalities. Program coordinator of the NRSC, Victor Anderson, says some of the money will be used for administration of the project, improvement in data capture for road crashes, improvement of injury reporting systems, as well as the training of officers. He pointed out that the National Road Safety Council, through the Pan American Health Organization (PAHO), applied to the United Nations UN Security, that should be UN Road Safety Fund last year and received some funding. He said a big part of that funding is to help equip the police with additional devices for use in speed monitoring and in breath analysis. That should be breath analysis or breathalyzers. Mr. Anderson added that the NRSC is now gathering these specifications to begin the procurement process and is hoping that the police will be put in a position to have some additional devices this year. In other news, sleuths assigned to the Narcotics Division in St. James are investigating the seizure of 1.6 kilograms of cocaine and the arrest of a British national at the Sangsters International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, yesterday. Reports are that about 3 p.m., lawmen were conducting operations in the area when a female was accosted by the operatives. The woman was in the process of checking on a flight to London, England, and after a preliminary interview, the police became suspicious and carried out a search of her luggage, which revealed 1.6 kilograms of cocaine concealed in Jamaican craft items. The estimated street value of the cocaine in the UK is £38,000. She was subsequently arrested and placed on reasonable suspicion for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act. However, her name has been withheld pending further investigations. A Kingston Higgler was charged with possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition in relation to a seizure along Olympic Way on Monday. Charged is a 20-year-old Stephen Haslam of Tamarind Turn, Kingston 11. Reports from the Hunts Bay Police are that about 12:50 p.m., a team of lawmen were on duty at a polling station in the area when they observed Haslam acting in a manner that aroused their suspicion. He was accosted and a knapsack he was carrying searched. One Glock 26 pistol fitted with a magazine containing 5 9mm cartridges was found in his possession. He was taken into custody and the charges laid against him. The court date is being finalized. And still on the police, 49-year-old, otherwise called Ganja Baby, of Newtown District, Black River, St. Elizabeth, has been arrested and charged following an incident on Monday as well. Reports from the Black River Police are that about 8 p.m., officers were on patrol in the area when they saw Taylor standing beside a white motor vehicle holding what appeared to be a firearm in his right hand. Upon noticing the police, Taylor ran and threw the firearm in a rubbish bin, and he was accosted. A search of the bin was carried out in his presence, where a 9mm pistol with an empty magazine was found. He was arrested and taken into custody, where he was charged with the offense of possession of a prohibited weapon. His court date is being finalized. You are listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news and sports, the weather, and this is happening all on nrpmediaja.com. Reaching where you are, no limitations. Let's move on now to give you some sporting information brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hepburn's Glass Supplies is the latest trend-setting supplier of glass and mirrors in the industry. We specialize in tinted and clear glasses, as well as mirrors for all your windows, doors, and closets at very competitive prices. To maximize your shopping experience, we stock 316 and 1/8 mirror thickness and 316 and quarter thickness in our entire stock of float glasses. We have in stock gloves, cutters, and suction cups at unbeatable prices. Our customer service is second to none, with same-day cutting for your specific measurements. Visit our office at 13 Chisholm Avenue, Kingston 13. Call us at 9080962 or email hepburn.glass@gmail.com. Hepburn's Glass. Quality service is our priority.
It is now 10 minutes going up to the hour of 7 o'clock right here on NRP Radio. we kick off or bowl off rather on cricket. England captain Ben Stokes said he was proud of his team wicket loss in the fourth test that sealed a series defeat in India. The tourists are winning the first test and having opportunities to win the other three. India have stretched a 12-year unbeaten home record while inflicting Stokes' first series defeat as captain. The 3-1 score doesn't look great, but the way in which we've come at India is what I'm most proud about, said Stokes. Meanwhile, India's series win over England is incredible for the future of their test team, says former England captain Michael Vaughan. The hosts took an unassailable 3-1 lead in the series with a gripping 5-wicket victory in Ranchi. The result is particularly impressive given India's considerably depleted squad. On football, West Ham manager David Moyes says he will leave discussions over a new contract until the end of the season, but has no plans to be going anyway. Moyes had been coming under pressure from some supporters after a poor run of results, but watched his side bounce back in style with a 4-2 win against Brentford, led by Jarrod Bowen's first career hat-trick. Moyes steered West Ham to the Europa Conference League last season, their first major trophy for 43 years. Asked about discussions over a new deal, Moyes said, "When you get to my age, you can sign contracts whenever you feel like, or whenever you feel ready to do so." Still on football, Erling Haaland scored 5 in a stunning display of finishing as holders Manchester City thrashed Luton to reach the FA Cup quarterfinals. It was the Norwegian's 8th hat-trick for City, and he also became the first player to score 5 in a game, twice for the club. City opened the scoring in the 4th minute when Kevin De Bruyne, who assisted the first 4 goals, was allowed time and space to cut the ball back for Haaland to convert. The pair combined again 50 minutes later, with Haaland running onto a through ball before powering it past Luton goalkeeper Tim Krul. And it was a similar move that brought the third, only this time with a delicate dink to finish. Jordan Clark pulled one back for Luton with a stunning strike, curled beautifully into the top corner from 25 yards under the stroke of halftime, and gave Rob Edwards a side hope of a memorable comeback with a thumping finish 7 minutes into the second half. That's sports right here, brought to you on NRP Radio inside of the NRP Evening News Roundup, brought to you by Hepburn's Glass. They are located at 13 Chisholm Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. We'll have more sports tomorrow morning inside of the NRP Break of Day newscast. All right, we want to thank you very much for staying with us right here on NRP Radio, NRP Media, as we bring the news to you every evening at around this time. We do appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to you continuing to maintain that link up with us right here on this station. We promise every evening that we're bringing the news, and every morning to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight at NRP, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligionsmediaja@gmail.com, or you can call our WhatsApp 876-336-9928. With that said, that's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Joe Ramsey. U.S. National Security Spokesperson John Kirby said Tuesday there won't be U.S. troops on the ground in Ukraine. VOA's Rick Pantaleo has this report.
Speaking at a White House press briefing, John Kirby responded to a reporter's question if U.S. ground troops will be sent to Ukraine.
You heard Secretary General Stoltenberg say himself he had no plans or intentions of, certainly under NATO auspices, of putting troops on the ground. And President Biden has been crystal clear since the beginning conflict. There'll be no U.S. troops on the ground in a combat role there in Ukraine.
Kirby's remarks came after French President Emmanuel Macron said Monday that France could not rule out sending troops on the ground to Ukraine and that he would maintain a strategic ambiguity on the subject. Stéphane Séjourné, France's foreign minister, later sought to clarify Macron's statements, saying Paris could send troops to Ukraine for specific needs, but not to fight in the war against Russia. Rick Pantaleo, VOA News.
Mediator Cotter expressed hopes Tuesday a new truce between Israel and U.S.-designated terrorist group Hamas could be secured within days after President Joe Biden said a ceasefire could start next week and last through Ramadan. As a dire humanitarian crisis unfolds in Gaza, the UN Humanitarian Agency and the United States United States also appealed for aid to be allowed into the war-battered Palestinian territory. Aid sent from Jordan was airdropped over Gaza on Tuesday by the Jordanian army. Jordan's King Abdullah had said on Tuesday humanitarian aid to Gaza must be doubled to prevent a deterioration in a hunger crisis affecting over 2 million people. Jordan is urging its Western allies to lobby Israel to increase aid coming from the kingdom on the border of Egypt, Israel, and Gaza beyond the existing Rafah crossing, officials say. This is VOA News.
Thank you so much for listening there to the latest VOA News, the voice of America, coming to you out of the United States of America. Join us again tomorrow morning when we'll have for you another package of information starting at 6 o'clock, then at within our newscast at 6:30. Voice of America International News. Now for the weather report and the forecasts, and that is coming your way right here now on this station, NRP Radio and NRP Media. We appreciate your company. Stay with us as we complete our newscast on an evening like this, coming to you live on this platform. And we look forward for you always coming with us and staying with us right here as we bring the news to you on a regular basis. The weather is up next. And the National Meteorological Service of Jamaica is reporting that there is a significant feature of a weak trough across Jamaica. The impact from the trough is forecast to further reduce as a ridge is expected to start building across Jamaica through to tomorrow. In the 24-hour forecast, tonight becoming cloudy, especially across northern parishes. Tomorrow morning, partly cloudy with isolated showers, mainly across coastal areas of northern parishes. Tomorrow afternoon, expect partly cloudy conditions with isolated showers, mainly across eastern, south central, and western parishes. In the 3-day forecast after tomorrow, that's a Thursday through to Saturday. On Thursday, expect isolated morning showers across northeastern parishes, isolated afternoon showers across southern parishes, otherwise partly cloudy. Friday, becoming cloudy with occasional showers beginning across eastern parishes, becoming windy on the north coast. On Saturday, it will be becoming cloudy with occasional showers beginning across eastern parishes, then to north central and western parishes. In other current regional weather features at this time, high pressure system across the Gulf of Mexico and the western Atlantic. The minimum temperature expected for Kingston tonight, 23 degrees Celsius. For Montego Bay, 23 degrees Celsius. That is the latest weather report and forecast right here on NRP Radio. We're standing by for the weather. No, that should be the time signal coming your way right after this. We'll be back with you momentarily to wrap the news up. Radio listener, let's go heart to heart on a Monday, 7:15 in the evening, right here on the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio, broadcasting on the platform of NRPmediaja.com. Yes, it will be the Heart to Heart talk show with the difference with host minister. Psalm 37 verse 8 says, "Don't get angry. Don't be upset. It only leads to trouble." This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 o'clock. Thank you very much. Radio listener, let's go heart to heart on a Monday, 7:15 in the evening, right here on the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio, broadcasting on the platform of nrpmediaja.com. Yes, it will be the heart to heart talk show with a difference, with Tyrell Morgan. It's a program which covers the full gamut of issues, some of which you are sometimes uncomfortable to talk about. So once again, it's your invitation to join the Heart to Heart talk show on the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio on the platform of nrpmediaja.com every Monday evening at 7:15 and again on a Friday evening at 5 o'clock. Check out the YouTube channel at Heart to Heart Talk Show JA or Facebook at Heart to Heart Talk Show JA. Yes, Heart to Heart is now on nrpmediaja.com. So have a heart and join us.
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Christ So Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Thank you very much for keeping it locked right here on NRP Media and NRP Radio. We have come to the end of our news presentation for this evening. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. The EOJ says the full outcome of the recently run local government elections may not be known until around Thursday. PNP loses the Clarendon Municipal Corporation in recount. Clarendon police investigated associated with the holding of the local government elections yesterday. NRSC has received the funding of US $400,000 to procure speed monitoring devices and breath testing equipment for the JCF. And in sport, Erling Haaland scored 5 in a stunning display of finishing as holders Manchester City thrashed Luton to reach the FA Cup quarterfinals. The full half an hour package of news in this NRP Evening News Roundup came to you courtesy of NRP, bringing you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. Here is your invitation to join us again tomorrow morning at 6:30 for the NRP Break of Day newscast. On behalf of the entire news and production teams, I am Leon Nash for NRP News. We encourage you to join this growing medium by subscribing to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA. Feel fulfilled and informed. Have a good rest of your evening, reminding you too that if you walk, ride, or drive, make every effort to arrive alive. Wishing for you a great rest of your evening and standing by now for the latest from the Jamaica Information Service, aired in time allowed for government broadcast. That comes up right after this.
I'm Joey James, CIS Evening News for Tuesday, February 27. Coming up, $1.5 billion allocated for Southern Plains Agricultural Development Project. Prime Minister commends staff at Black River Fire Station, and over $300 million allocated for Global Services Skills Project. The news in detail after the break.
Don't miss the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, Saturday, March 2 at the Newcastle Parade Grounds. Experience coffee, culture, community, and more. Get your tickets online at stonelink.com or at Cafe Blue, Starbucks, Cannonball Cafe, Rituals Coffee House, Blue Brew Bistro, and Island Coffees Cafe. $5,000 for adults, $3,000 children 12 and over. Gates open at 10 a.m. Free shuttle service from UTEC. See you there.
Now the news. $1.5 billion has been allocated to complete the Southern Plains Agricultural Development Project in the upcoming fiscal year. The project, which began in 2019, aims to provide access to irrigation water on fallow sugarlands to increase agricultural productivity. This includes the construction of wells and canal networks and the development of associated agricultural infrastructure in the arable areas of Amity Hall and Bridgepen in St. Catherine and Parnassus in Clarendon. The project is slated to end in December 2024. For fiscal year 2024-25, the targets of the project include work on agricultural buildings, the completion of the rehabilitation of the Heartlands Canal, and construction of pump houses and a reservoir at Amity Hall and Bridgepen. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining is implementing the project with co-funding from the Government of Jamaica and the Caribbean Development Bank. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is commending the staff of the Black River Fire Station in St. Elizabeth for their commitment to service despite working in challenging circumstances in recent years. Noting that the Black River Fire Station responded to some 1,459 calls in 2023, Mr. Holness thanked the firefighters for their efforts to serve the approximately 60 communities served by the station, which are comprised of numerous businesses, homes, and other institutions.
It is an important element of public administration that there is emergency services. So you have to establish your police, you have to establish your city government, and you have to establish your emergency response, which is effectively your fire brigade.
The Prime Minister was speaking at the official reopening of the rehabilitated Black River Fire Station in St. Elizabeth recently. The scope of renovation works included the complete rehabilitation and expansion of the existing building, erecting perimeter fencing, paving of the compound, and drainage improvements. Over $359 million marked to continue the implementation of the Global Services Skills GSS project during fiscal year 2024-25. The project aims to grow the global services sector in Jamaica, particularly in higher value added segments, and increase the number of skilled workers on the island. Plans for the upcoming year include the build-out of space for the Portmore Incubator to support technology innovation and capacity building for firms participating in the program. To date, the project has developed curricula for enhanced job readiness and completion of a gender diagnosis study and strategy and the Global Services Skills GSS 2020 pilot program. The GSS internship program was also completed, and additional curriculum, leadership, and management for the 2022 GSS apprenticeship program was developed. And a minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for skills and digital transformation, Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, is urging local students to build their technology skills and seek careers in the cybersecurity sector. Noting that jobs in the cybersecurity sector are often high-paying, Minister Morris-Dixon says the Hart NSCA Trust offers various digital training courses, adding that the institution is very digitally oriented and underpins everything that is taught with technology.
That's why we're also spending a lot of time on cybersecurity and building in more global cybersecurity mechanisms across the government. I want you to be exploring ChatGPT, Bard.
Senator Morris-Dixon was delivering the keynote address during the launch of a free Wi-Fi hotspot in Waterford, St. Catherine on February 22. That was JIS News. I'm Anjui James Sawyers.
I don't know what I would do without my RADA extension officer. When I was just starting out, I didn't know what I was doing. But with their help, I could plow the land the right way, know which crop to plant. I even learned some tricks to deal with pests. Right now, my customers love the quality of the crops from my farm. I am happy I was introduced to the RADA extension services early. If you need help on your call RADA at 876-977-1158-62. A message from the JIS.
It's Vaughn
and Charnel,
and we're here with what you need to know this week. Wait, You have to go talk to me different from now on, Chanel, because you are looking at one of yesterday's successfully elected individuals.
Really? No. Me never know say you was a candidate in the local government election.
Hold on. Me never said a whole of that. Please don't mix me.
So, which election you participate in? Wait.
Well, since you asked so nicely, and I definitely want the world to know this information, we're looking at the most recently voted best host of a radio show that comes on Tuesdays that's called What You Need to Know. Yeah, of course. But big up to the victorious councillors coming out of the local government elections. And of course, welcome to the winner's circle. Winners over here. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I deserved that. Me should have learned and know by now. So you always have some foolinish up your sleeve. But anyway, you did say one thing right. Congratulations to the persons who won their divisions, and better luck next time to the persons who weren't so victorious. Now, the work really begins to deliver on behalf of the persons living in the divisions you represent.
Yeah, definitely. That's true. And to the persons who didn't win, I will be conducting some classes on being a winner. Yeah. Just link me, and hopefully your circumstances will change next time around. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah. So, Charnel, what else is in the news that we want to share with the listeners today?
Moving right along and paying no attention to that last sentence whatsoever, we officially have 3 international airports in Jamaica now, people. Yes, the Ian Fleming Airport in St. Mary last week welcomed its first commercial passenger flight, putting it right up there beside Norman Manley Airport in Kingston and Sangster International in Montego Bay.
Yes, I heard about that one. People, it was a flight from American Airlines, which originated in Miami, Florida. American Airlines will operate the service twice per week on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
And I don't have to tell you the positive impact this is going to have on that part of the island over the long term. Like Transport Minister Darrell Vaz was saying, it's going to attract more hotel groups, tour operators, Airbnbs, restaurants, supermarkets, the whole works.
Yeah, people, just know that you have regular flights coming into the area with dedicated numbers of tourists coming in each week. That should be all the incentive business interests need to start creating amenities to cater to them, which means businesses, jobs, and economic growth, of course, which is a win-win-win-win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You forgot another win, but it's okay. I'll add it for you. Winner.
Okay, all right. No problem. I'll take it. All right, people. Now, bear with us for a little as things take a bit of a somber note, all right? We have to join with the music and entertainment fraternity in extending condolences to the family and loved ones of Peter Morgan from one of Jamaica's first families of reggae, Morgan Heritage. His family announced his passing on Sunday.
Morgan Heritage is known for some of the genre's classics, and they have really made a sterling contribution to the global spread of the music. And so it's a major loss. In the same vein, people, we have to join the sports media and track and field fraternity in mourning the loss of noted sports journalist and track and field analyst Hubert Lawrence.
So for those of us who are glued to the TV during champs or world champs or even the Olympics, Lawrence's insight into track and field and his almost encyclopedic knowledge of the participants and their events was always welcome. We lost a good one with his passing, and of course, condolences to his family and his loved ones.
So it is a bit of a somber weekend we had, but you know what? By remembering them and on their legacy, we are able to move on with confidence. Now, I may regret asking this question, but let me proceed. Vaughn, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners before we sign off today?
Well, I mean, of course, since you ask, let me see now. There are 2 things. First, there's the fact that men are being encouraged to take advantage of the National Health Fund subsidy for 1 prostate-specific antigen test per year. This is in response to news that an alarming number of men are being diagnosed with enlarged prostates or prostate cancer each year.
Wow, that is so mature of you. I like that one. What's the next one?
Well, then there's the small matter of the Reggae Grammy. I need people to vote for me for next week.
Okay. That is it for Wing today, guys. Got comments? Send an email to radio@gis.gov.jm. Connect with us on X @GIS News.
Bad mind. Anyway, people, follow us on Instagram and TikTok @JIS Voice and interact with us on Facebook @Jamaica Information Service. Till next time, I'm Vaughn.
And I'm Charnel, reminding you that knowledge is power, so stay in the know.
The University Hospital of the West Indies, UHWI, in St. Andrew is one of the island's main primary healthcare facilities, providing reliable access to high-quality medical care and treatment for over
years.
Which was opened in 1952, I believe, received its first patient at that time. Started with an initial capacity of 200, and it consisted of medical, surgical, and pediatric wards, and the main operating theater, casualty and outpatient department. And it was officially opened in 1953.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. A school was later added, with the facility granted full university status, doubling as a facility for residents and training center for persons interested in entering the medical profession.
From its inception, the UHWI has been recognized as a center of excellence, and its primary objective is to meet the needs of having a teaching facility for medical students, residents, and allied healthcare workers, whilst providing the highest level of medical care to the Jamaican people and persons who come for its services from other parts of the Caribbean. Since then, the hospital has played a pivotal role in medical education, research, and health delivery. Over the years, the UHWI stayed true to its commitment to excellence, despite facing challenges stemming from aging infrastructure.
UHWI is now set to undergo a major transformation to expand its infrastructure to meet the growing needs of patients. Last February, the government earmarked $530 million for the modernization of the facility, to include the construction of a new tower with 58 bed spaces, 35 neonatal cots, 7 operating theaters, and the purchase of medical equipment. On February 20 this year, a $278 million contract was signed to begin phase 1 of the redevelopment works at the facility, which will see the ring road being realigned, among other things.
The need for comprehensive redevelopment is evident. The proposed redevelopment aims to address these challenges by modernizing facilities, enhancing departmental synergy, and expanding critical care services. The incorporation of modern technologies and the provision of state-of-the-art facilities will further elevate the hospital status and capabilities, ensuring that the UHWI remains a center of excellence in the region.
The modernization of the hospital will also address several challenges faced by staff, which include aging buildings, inefficient layout, overcrowding, as well as difficulty in executing maintenance works.
To make way for a green field, meaning a clear area in which we can construct this wonderful 6-story building, which will have important services, operating and surgery and ward spaces and specialist services that will improve the healthcare that Jamaicans have access to.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says a green space will also be developed at the facility, with designs now being finalized.
We're almost at the end of the final internal designs, at which point we will go to market for a contractor and begin the process of selecting and finalizing plans to break ground for that facility. That facility is going to signal another big effort at renewal of our infrastructure.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the long-term view for the facility is to consolidate all the spaces available on the property and modernize the infrastructure for efficiency.
In a microcosm of this, the University Hospital of the West Indies has now been forced into doing this. As they look to the next 50 years of their development and the land space that they have, they're going to have to figure out how all these dispersed buildings that they have all over the place, connected by open corridors, that is not going to work. So you're going to have to go knock down some of those buildings and consolidate in more modern structures, which is what this is. But it is good that you're doing it because it becomes an example. In development parlance, it's called a demonstration effect.
That's where we end our discussion on the redevelopment of the University Hospital of the West Indies. Thanks for listening. I'm Andre Palmer.
On today's edition of Jamaica's Promise, Merle Grove High School celebrates 100 years. I'm Jada Francis. Stay tuned. Founded in 1924, Merle Grove High School is this year celebrating 100 years of academic excellence under the theme A Century of Toil and Triumph. The year's celebrations were launched on Monday, February 19 at the school's Caram Speed Auditorium, where past and present students gathered to reflect on the school's significant milestone and commitment to continued excellence. Acting Principal Ms. Loretta Ricketts shared that the institution has been a beacon of excellence in education over the years and has transformed the minds and the futures of several young women.
As we celebrate this momentous milestone, let us reflect on the journey that has brought and look forward to a future filled with boundless possibilities, unwavering commitment to excellence, and a continued legacy of excellence in education.
Representing the Ministry of Education and Youth, Acting Regional Director for Region 1, Ms. Dasmine Kennedy, emphasized that both present and past Merle Grove High students have demonstrated an unwavering commitment to excellence, primarily through their achievements on external exams.
From the early days of GCE, ordinary, and advanced level to the now Caribbean Examination Council, administering the CFE and the CAPE examinations. Your graduates have indeed excelled both locally and overseas in different types of tertiary institutions, moving on to provide leadership and service in various fields of endeavors. And this is something that we are proud to indeed celebrate.
During her keynote speech, former Jamaican High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and past student of Merle Grove High, Ambassador Aluna Samba, revealed that while she did not start her secondary education at Merle Grove, the institution played an important part in shaping her as the woman she is today. Ambassador Samba, who's also the patron of the centennial celebrations, stressed that over the years, Merle Grove has nurtured and produced well-rounded women.
Whenever we had sports day, it was not only focused on the athletics. Those of us who couldn't run up and down and jump could do other things. One of the competitions associated with our sports day was a dance competition. One of the competitions associated with our sports day was a cake baking and decorating competition. We learned all those things at Merle Grove.
The ambassador urged the students to be mindful of the many lessons Merle Grove High School teaches in and out of the classroom.
These are the best years of your life. These are the years when your only work is to come to school and to learn. These are the years when you must take advantage of what Merle Grove is offering you. These are the years when you get to my age, you must be able to look back and say, I had a good experience at Merle Grove.
New infrastructure developments were also announced for the institution, set to begin during the school's 100th year.
Currently, we're seeing an additional floor that will be right in the auditorium. We're also looking at installment of modern seat, installment of a modern stage. We also have a top section where camping facilities for Merle Grove use, as well as for rental, a conference room. The facility will also be self-sufficient by producing its own solar electrical energy. We're looking at improved security posts right here with surveillance system of the school ground. Of course, this will ensure greater security here on the campus.
The year's celebration will include the launch of the school's website in September, Heritage Day celebrations in October honoring the heroes of Merle Grove High School, a homecoming centennial road march in November, and a gala of the century in December. For more information, contact the school at 876-925-1 or pay them a visit at 77 Constant Spring Road, St. Andrew. That's it for this week's program. Thanks for your company. And if you know of an interesting program or activity at a primary or high school, let us know and we'll highlight it right here on JIS Radio. Just email us at radio@jis.gov.jm or call us at 876-926-3590. On behalf of studio engineer Andre Sawyers, I'm Jenna Francis.
On today's program, child-friendly safe space number 10 opens in Kingston. Stay with us. I'm Anjui James Sawyers. Children who have been victims of human trafficking and other serious crimes now have another space where they can access support services in a warm and comfortable environment. This after the recent opening of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's 10th child-friendly space on the island.
A child-friendly space is an environment designed to help children feel safe, calm, and comfortable while they are interacting with professionals who may be from healthcare, childcare, or law enforcement.
Sub-Officer in charge of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Vice Squad, Detective Inspector Kamisha Gordon. The facility, located at the office of the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch in downtown Kingston, is the second opened by the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF. It is also the 10th space to be launched under the United States-U.S. Jamaica Child Protection Compact Partnership, which started in 2018. The first JCF child-friendly space based at the Falmouth Police Station in Trelawney was opened in March 2022.
This space, a sanctuary for children who have endured the horrors of crime, will be staffed by compassionate members of the Jamaican Constabulary Force, supported by the Warnath Group to provide specialized care for traumatized children. This space represents the culmination of years of collaboration and shared commitment between our two nations.
U.S. Undersecretary of State for Civilian Security, Democracy and Human Rights, Ozra Zale. These safe places will help to minimize trauma to child crime victims so that they can be examined, interviewed, and referred for appropriate care and services. Children who access the facilities will be able to get counseling, emotional support, crisis intervention, court preparation, victim advocacy, and activities including play and art to promote building trust, healing, resilience, and positive interactions. Statistics show that in 2021, 100% of victims and suspected victims of human trafficking were children. In 2022, 90%, and in 2023, 70%.
Our focus in Jamaica has been to establish and strengthen public policies and plans to discourage and reduce the appeal of human trafficking through public awareness designed to strengthen the capacity of persons to recognize trafficking in its varied guise.
Chairman of the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, Audrey Budai, speaking on behalf of Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Ambassador Alison Stone-Roof. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says expanding the number of child-friendly spaces with strong support from the U.S. government and other partners such as the Warnath Group will enhance the JCF's work in combating human trafficking and violence against children.
And when you have the framework, the leadership with it, and the interest and passion, we will get better and better results.
And pledges to play its part in protecting the nation's children from crime and violence.
We commit to double our efforts to establish more child-friendly spaces for victims of trafficking and other vulnerable victims so that they
2 civil society organizations launched projects to expand social justice services, and later, a Reggae Month fact. I'm Cheryl Johnson Hamilton. Let's go Reggae.
If you are a parliamentarian or a public official listed in the Jamaica Gazette December 5 regarding the Integrity Commission Act, or a public official receiving emoluments of $12 million or more during the period January 1, 2023 to December 31, 2023, you must file your statutory declarations as of December 31, 2023, and any outstanding statutory declarations on or before March 31. Download the updated statutory declarations form from the Integrity Commission's website at integrity.gov.jm/statutory declarations. Ask your Human Resource or Administration Division for further information. A message from the Integrity Commission.
Two civil society organizations have partnered with the Ministry of Justice to expand the reach of social justice services at the community level through the Soul Just project. They are the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, which will provide sign language training to legal aid attorneys, and the Children First Agency that will work with communities to increase awareness of services available to children in conflict with the law. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Grace Ann Stewart McFarlane, asserts that globally, people with disabilities face various forms of inequality, and the ministry is taking steps to alleviate some of the challenges they encounter by utilizing strategic partnerships.
The Child and Version branch under the Social Justice Division has partnered with Children First to implement community initiatives, raising awareness and engagement with the program among vulnerable communities. The ministry has long recognized that it cannot achieve its mandate alone. Partnerships with civil society groups such as Jamaica Association for the Deaf and Children First have been invaluable and will continue to be so. Their expertise and community engagement complement the government's efforts, ensuring services reach those in need.
The So Just project aims to ensure equal opportunities, protection of individual rights, access, and the upholding of human rights of all individuals. The project is funded by the Government of Canada.
Don't miss the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, Saturday, March 2 at the Newcastle Parade Grounds. Experience coffee, culture, community, and more. Get your tickets online at touchstonelink.com or at Cafe Blue, Starbucks, Cannonball Cafe, Rituals Coffee House, Blue Brew Bistro, and Island Coffees Cafe. $5,000 for adults, $3,000 children 12 and over. Gates open at 10 a.m. Free shuttle service from UTEC. See you there.
One of the goals of Vision 2030 is to have a strong and stable economic foundation that provides favorable conditions for sustainable economic growth and development. To learn more, visit vision2030.gov.jm or check out the Vision 2030 social media pages. You may also contact the PIOJ at 876-960-9339.
The vision has started.
Time now for a Reggae Month fact. Did you know that Ziggy Marley, son of reggae legend Bob Marley, has won 8 Grammy Awards as a solo artist? He won the Best Reggae Album category 7 times. Today's Reggae Month fact was brought to you by the GIS. That's all we have time for today. Join us next time when we'll highlight happenings round about JA. Until then, I'm Cheryl Johnson Hamilton with studio engineer Andre Sawyers.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Thank you so much for listening there to the latest from the Jamaica Information Service. And of course, by now you would have heard that it was brought to you courtesy of the Jamaica Information Service and aired right here in time allowed for government broadcast. For those of you who are still on the radio, we do apologize. You had some break-in transmission between for some time closer to 7:30. We do apologize for that. That was a failure of the internet network that we have. And so you lost somewhat of the broadcast there from the GIS. You are back with us, and we are grateful for your company. Keep it locked right here on the platform. For those of you who are still listening via YouTube and Facebook Live, we want to say thanks to you and keep it locked. We're going to go back to normal programming in just a while, right after we do a little bit of business.
It's new. It's the Upper Room at 8 p.m., the newest and most riveting and engaging discussion program on biblical matters. Once again, right here on nrpmediaja.com, every Sundays, 8 to 10 p.m. It's all about things you know, things you thought you know, and things you're not truly sure about. nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
All right, stay with us. This is your station for the nation.
Hi, I'm Genevieve.
And I'm Kalisha. And we are the Christ of Praises. You're listening to NRP Media and Radio. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
It is now 7:35 right here on the station. We're going to go back now to our normal programming right here on nrpmediaja.com. That is on the radio platform. So I would want to encourage you to go on over now to our radio platform and continue to listen to great gospel music and features. And coming up at 9 o'clock tonight, we should be joining the Gospel Expression Radio in New York City for the program Gospel Praise. All right, so stay with us right here on the station. Radio listener, here is another opportunity to join the NRP family and stay for the fellowship in word, features, and music 24/7. Yes, every Tuesday night, Minister Richard Sutton, one of our newest connecting partner, will be right here on the NRP brand with Gospel Praise 9 to 10:30 p.m. and then rejoin us at 11 p.m. Tuesday nights to 1 a.m. Wednesday mornings. It will be 3.5 hours of word of encouragement, delving into the scripture with regular readings, prayer, and interaction with you listening on the World Wide Web. Yes, it's Gospel Expression Radio, located at Hempstead in the Nassau County of New York, teaming up with the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio, Tuesdays 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Wednesday mornings. It's a partnership like never before with NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. The National Religious Partnership NRP Media, the managing company or owners and operators of NRP Radio. NRP Media is primarily a religious-based organization which gives direction to all of its offshoots and operates under the mantra, reaching you where you are, no boundaries, no limitations. NRP Media operates on a 24-hour basis, providing programming and music of different religious genres. We are located in the Christiana era, Christiana PO, Manchester, Jamaica. Contact us via email, nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com, or via telephone 876-336-9928. You can also make contact with us through our social media platforms posted on our website at nrpmediaja.com. NRP Media, your trusted source of information.